Lyrics are the backbone to a song. When a crowd join in, they're not humming the drum part. They join in with the lyrics. Apart from air drummers and air guitarists at a Rush show. But that's beside the point. Let's dive into what makes you want to sing along to a song. There's heaps of videos out there breaking down chord structures for songs, their progressions, how it impacts the song. But where's the talk about the lyrics? If you're new here, hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm a part-time musician who was lucky enough to be a full-time touring musician for over 10 years. I lived and toured in Europe, the US and Australia. I've released 3 full albums independently and I have a new single. Check out my endorsements in the description below. I want to look at a few different approaches to lyrics. There's definitely way more approaches than what we're going to look at today, but here's a few highlights that stand out to me. Satire can sometimes be hard to detect in a song, and that is what makes it an interesting way to convey a message. For some, it will feel like truth. For others, it will feel like a mockery of truth. So in that sense, you kind of win over both audiences, which is not a bad idea. Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull is full of social critique using grand and bass satirical lyrics. It's poking fun at a particular cohort of society. You can also check out a cover version of it here on my channel. A more obvious lyric delivery is to be direct, using language to create a clear story to address a particular audience. My new single, Sea of Light, was written for an audience of one. Its aim was to acknowledge the struggles and disappointments, but not to give up, and to keep looking for hope in the darkest and the coldest times. It uses frank language to talk about difficulties and challenges, and a way to view them through a lens of hope. The song Blackbird by the Beatles creates an image of a blackbird singing into the darkness, and rising up to fly even on broken wings. McCartney says his intention with the imagery was to create a tone of overcoming challenges in dark times. The lyric sparks your imagination to picture the scene. If you live in an area with blackbirds, you can relate even more deeply as you're familiar with its caroling and the time of day you hear it. I have a version of Blackbird here on my channel, so please go check that out too. Narrative structure is one that I think can be difficult to navigate. What story are you trying to narrate? And how grand is it? I have a song that's just gone back to the drawing board because I realised I was trying to cover too big a story in a 3.5-minute song. It wasn't worth persisting because I was never going to capture the full story. And this is why concept albums are great. A songwriter can explore a topic in great depth, and I certainly hope it's not a style that disappears completely. Thick as a Brick is a significant work in the concept album genre, and the span of the lyric content is epic in nature. Compare that to my new single, Sea of Light. This is a personal narrative, and it's linear. I want to move the listener from struggle to hope. It's a here and now picture full of personal moments, like staring at walls for hours, feeling out of control of a situation, and learning to adapt to a challenge. Then taking that moment each day to look for the hopeful things, the stars in the darkest night sky, and waiting to see the sun rise again. The community effect. How amazing is it when people at a concert start singing along? It always gives me that hair raised on the back of the arm feeling, and there's something deep in the human psyche that connects us to this communal singing. We've done it for millennia, and it seems to create a very different connection to those around us. And it doesn't always even have to be words. How many songs have do-do-dos in them? I added a do-do-do section to my new song specifically to convey a communal sing-along that words can't express. We've covered Satire, a direct approach, imagery, narrative structure, and communal singing. These are some of the approaches to lyrics that you should have in your songwriter toolkit. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. What approaches do you love? Or what approach would you like me to talk about in another video? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please do go and check out the covers I mentioned earlier. I've also started a series of videos around tips and tricks for musicians. Here's a couple here as an example. I have merch if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. You can see just down there's a coffee mug that's available. Could be your new morning coffee routine mug. Keep an eye in the comments and I'll include a link once my new single is out so you can go and have a listen. Thanks again and see you soon.